I'm going to call it. I think that's the funniest thing John's ever said. I think that might have been the funniest moment ever on this podcast. That was so off the rip like that, like so quick.
That was really fast.
That was fucking unbelievable. It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network, presented to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Today's a monster episode that Straight Talk Wireless is bringing to you exclusively with one of our biggest interviews ever, Jeremy Allen White and Zack Efron on the show together, promoting their new movie, The Iron Claw. It's just me and Feits hanging out with the boys, talking about getting yoked,
getting pumps in before
pumps
scenes.
in and wrestling.
I might start getting pumps in before podcasts.
Let's do it, man. Fucking bang out some push-ups before we get on the mic, with just stories from two of like the biggest guys in Hollywood right now that are like your normal brain can't even like comprehend what it's like to be those guys. But even those guys, as famous as they are, know that Straight Talk Wireless is the best phone plan on the market today. Right now, it's unlimited data, unlimited talk, and text. Plus, you get a free Walmart Plus membership. So you get yourself the phone plan, and then on top of that, you can get everything you need from Walmart all the time with the Walmart Plus membership. Free delivery from all Walmart stores, free shipping, no minimum order. You get a Paramount Plus membership. You can go watch all those Taylor Sheridan series.
I just watched Finest Kind on Paramount Plus just last night.
What's
Tommy
that
Lee
one?
Jones, Ben Foster,
Ooh.
Jenna Ortega. It's a New Bedford movie shot on Massachusetts.
Saw those two on the red carpet together, Tommy Lee and Jenna Ortega.
Really?
He was like, "Do we have any scenes together?" Hilarious. Hilarious.
They do. I can confirm.
She said that. She was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, you get all that. Plus, you can save money on gas. So you're gonna save money on your phone. You get your Walmart Plus membership. You get a Paramount Plus membership, and you get to save money on gas. It's Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart and Walmart.com. It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. It's yet again another like old man moment for me with the latest all black versus all white NFL thing going viral, where I'm just like, we're running out of internet. I feel like, I just feel like it's something we did so long ago, and it's just like it's all cyclical. Time is a flat circle. And I don't know how much more is left, but seeing that go viral and watching the difference from our original conversation.
When we first had it in 2012, 13.
It was early. Yeah, it was. The podcast started in 2012, and I think it was like 100 episodes in, which is probably like 2013. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were doing weekly.
Yeah, we were doing about that. So like 10 years ago.
I think when it was first asked, we were like, I don't know if we can answer this.
Well, what's funny is I feel like we answered it then, and then I feel like there was a long like drought where we couldn't ask anybody that. And then if you look at Answer the Internet, we asked like Tom Segura, Chris DiStefano. We asked guys that like we were sure would be comfortable answering it.
Dude, I saw those clips in the group chat of a few people answering it. There were definitely some black people who answered it, who were like,
"Oh yeah, that's
black people."
I'm trying to. I wish
I
we
found
had
a few more. Our Dropbox is just a mess.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah,
they were
I
for
know.
sure.
We definitely asked it to some black dudes who would just like have a fucking field day with it. It would be right now if we dropped a supercut of all the comedians and all the athletes and all the people we have answering this question. It would be fucking perfect for the internet right now. It's something we've been cultivating for like a decade but the league, it depends on when you answer the question, really.
Right. At
That's
the
what's
time
crazy.
the question was asked. Well, I don't know.
At the time the question was asked, we had quarterbacks on lock.
Yes, I don't know if there was.
It was maybe Michael Vick, but he was probably like, out of the league at that. Like he was having trouble.
Yeah.
Maybe even beyond that. It was, for my entire childhood, it was like Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham, Cordell Stewart.
Yeah.
Like, right? Those were like the guys.
Culpepper came in a little later.
Yeah, Steve McNair. Yeah, there was guys, but it was like
at that time I don't think there was right now as it's been broken down by people who follow football more closely. Right now it's pretty much a toss-up at quarterback. It wasn't a toss-up. There were black quarterbacks, but it wasn't a toss-up.
That's it right there. There were black quarterbacks.
Yeah,
that was a thing.
Right,
now there are just quarterbacks. Yeah. And they're white and they're black and they're good and they're bad. People used to say black quarterbacks, which is fucking insane. It was always the big debate was always we would win quarterbacks, but we would lose tremendously on cornerbacks. Yeah. So,
but even then, Adam Archuleta wasn't still in the league, was he? No,
I always went to
quarterbacks,
CBs. But same secondary.
Last one was 21 years ago.
No, that was Jason Sehorn. Archuleta was a safety a little later than that, wasn't he?
Oh, maybe corner.
Archuleta.
Oh no,
Adam Archuleta.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't.
Was Sehorn was 21 years ago?
Sehorn was the last.
Sehorn's the last one.
White starting quarterback. Yeah.
But now
I had a Jason Sehorn jersey when I was a kid.
Hell yeah, man! Do you remember that story about Jason Sehorn and his wedding ring? He had to have it snapped on.
Yeah.
That was like a little known fact, like a fun fact about Jason Sehorn. His fingers were so mashed up he needed a open and closing ring for his wedding. Jason Sehorn, white Jewish guy cornerback, like that has got to be.
He's Jewish too. No way.
I think so, right? Jason Sehorn? No.
Gotta be.
Look, I mean, I think so. Maybe not.
It would say it.
Yeah, it would. That's great.
Yeah, you go to Julian Edelman's page. I promise you, it says he's Jewish.
You're right. That's fucking great. And now though, like the fact that I said it a couple weeks ago when Christian McCaffrey went bananas. He would be a top pick in the racial draft right now. a white running back doing what he's done in this league is that. Dude. So that like aside from Mike Allstott. And there's Peyton Hillis for like a minute, right? White running backs.
Yeah.
It was fullbacks, but there was nobody like Christian. CMC.
No.
CMC changed the argument as much as like all the black quarterbacks changed the quarterback conversation. CMC changed the running back conversation.
Dude, when in Will's breakdown, when he's like secondary. Christian McCaffrey's gonna have to go two ways. It's so goddamn funny. He's like, he plays both sides of the ball. Have you seen it?
No, I didn't watch the full thing. I saw
breakdown.
I saw his breakdown of. By the way, I love that we're at a place where like there was. If this is a couple years ago, this is not as well received.
Oh, dude. Well, at the same time that we did the draft. Whenever we did it, now we didn't do a draft. We just had a conversation. SB Nation had done a Madden simulation of a white versus black game, and they deleted it,
right?
Because they didn't want that to be like, they didn't want it to be used against them or whatever. That was no longer on YouTube,
right?
But they had done. I remember their debate was like something between like I think it was. Who got Jimmy Graham for tight end? We got Gronk, and it was like, do we almost? I mean, exactly what happened. Where it was like, where Will was like, now the halves and the halvesies. Like,
when
I think
he
if you
was
say
calling
the word,
the halves, I was like, this is something legit. A couple years ago, that you would get like in trouble for. And when he was like. Do they clean up and do they say it or not? Do they clean up and not say it? I was like, I'm just thrilled to be in a place. Even when I tweeted a couple weeks ago about McCaffrey, about the racial draft, and I guess these are things that people don't know. People don't know what the racial draft is anymore. They're thinking I'm talking about like actually drafting people based on their race, and it's not a skit. There were a lot of mad people about that. I was like, oh boy, maybe we're slipping back the wrong direction. And then I had my faith restored in humanity with Will.
Which is also is such a good example of how it's like kind of funny to get worked up about like what people get mad about because everything is just like you kind of again what we're talking about with YouTube where it's just like you work your way in how culture accepts now but it's ever changing like it'll come back it ebbs and flows and like it's like all right for these few years we don't make these kind of jokes
right
for these few years we make these kind of jokes again
and
then we don't
even within that it's like situation to situation. It's like I don't know. This time they didn't. This time Will said it. Will maybe the way he said it or how he said it's funny. So like it's good.
Yeah.
Someone else says it with a different tone. It's bad. But
I think Puka Nakua's a little cleaned up. I don't think he says the word. I think he should get to play with us.
What's funny though is Rashard Mendenhall.
He was not joking.
Right. Right. He came from a place of like actual. I mean, what Will did actually was kind of cool in the sense of like it came from a place of like racial hate and turned into like racial fun, which is not easy to do. So maybe we're in a good spot. Now, Tom Segura was very much on the record of anytime, anywhere, any era, any year, it's always the Blacks are going to win.
I mean, that's
probably a safe bet.
Probably,
but I don't think it's.
Well, I mean, you got a few years where, like what was it? What's the Shane joke about when USC came and stomped Bama because USC had a bunch of black guys and Bama was like, all right,
let's do this.
Like, we're gonna have black guys on the team now. I guess there was a time there that maybe there weren't enough total black players.
Yeah,
where like the USC had a few guys, but if you picked up guys from the whole SEC, maybe you can still. It's almost like what Delaney Walker said about this with coaching. Where he's like, it's not fair. You guys just start letting black people coach a few years ago.
I know. It's not that they can't. It's that we didn't let them. Yeah. A lot of good loopholes, a lot of good arguments. I loved it. I loved seeing it. That was something when we did it that I don't even think I paused in the moment, but I think afterwards.
I think there was a little.
Was there? Because
yeah.
I feel like then it was okay to do it, but I'm trying to. It's so hard to find all our old shit because we never like archived it or whatever, and then we deleted so many blogs because I know there was a blog about it, and then I found I'm pretty sure it's episode 101. So if anybody out there knows how to go through the archives and find those, because I think we had to delete them from YouTube. It's just a mess trying to go that far back. But I would love to see our original conversation to see if we were.
It's on the back end of YouTube. I could dig it up.
That would be great.
Do you see the clip of Pat Bev talking about it? I say this, I think every time he comes up. I don't think anyone on the internet makes me laugh as regularly as Pat Bev
What did he do? What did he say this
Dude,
time?
Rowan asked,
Love gang.
Rowan asked him for the NBA version. And
for the what?
For like the NBA version.
Oh, NBA version, okay.
And let me find it real quick. I can play it for
I mean, that's an argument that like super changed as well.
No. It didn't.
These fucking white
Yes,
guys
it
talking
did.
about football. We need to have a white versus black
I mean,
Pro Bowl.
do we
I'm
not
curious
include
how
Europeans?
it would go in the NBA.
Belt ass.
That response is so good.
Belt ass, man. I heard you.
Point guard, Luka. 2, Chet. 3, Laurie. 4, Sabonis. 5, Joker. Coming off the bench, Hero, Sengun,
Gordon.
AR,
Gordon Hayward.
Porzingis versus everybody else.
Versus everybody else.
Luka and Jokic are gonna like. Luka and Jokic are probably the. I'm trying to think of when the league had its best like, even just handful of white guys. Because even when it was like Larry Bird.
It was. I mean, like I my initial gut reaction was like, I don't know. I bet the whites could kind of throw together a team too. And I saw that, and I was like, oh, there are 2 guys I've heard of. I just because I've heard of Luka and Joker, I was like, I bet there's probably like a couple of good white guys, and it's just
There's got to be a third, no?
I mean, third's probably Chet, like he said. And
that's crazy. That dude's 180 pounds, right?
That's crazy. Yeah. But I think that Luka and Doncic are the 2 best. I mean, Luka and Joker are the 2 best players in the NBA. Probably.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like, we're
but it's
top
just after
heavy,
that,
you
it's
know,
like 50.
It's tough. But
And also Europeans, you can't count that.
I know that. Well, that's that. When I was having the debate.
Oh, Europeans certainly count as whites.
That's what I, dude. When I said,
I mean, that's the homeland. That's where we all came from, bro.
Now, I root a little bit differently for like
that he's
for
right
like
too,
Austin
he's right
Reeves,
too.
and I root for
Agreed,
Luka.
100%. Yeah, they're not Americans, but they're whites.
Listen, they're not pure bloods. They're mud bloods. Okay,
It's like in Space Jam, they're clear.
When I was doing the racial draft with McCaffrey, I was like, he's got to be the number 1 pick, and I was like, I don't know about Joker, and people were like, that doesn't count. I was like, well, then what are we gonna have, a whole third thing, white, black, and European?
Yeah,
No.
that's
Europeans. You go
white,
to Europe. You go to Europe, and it's a bunch of fucking white people, man.
I mean, that's great. I didn't even know that was ever even up in debate.
Yeah.
Certainly, yeah, I don't root for him as hard. I stay for my Americans, but like, I look and go, that's a white guy.
Well, now, but like, Italians aren't white.
Italians are white.
Italians are not white. Italians are not white. Italians, like Spanish, Brazilian, that kind of shit.
Spanish is definitely white.
I would not call a Spanish guy a white guy.
most Spanish guys are white guys. I mean, like Latinos, no, but most Spanish guys are white guys.
Yeah, there's no like exotic Spaniards.
I mean, there are, but like Spain's a predominantly white country, I think.
Okay. I mean, if I saw like a tall, dark, and handsome Spaniard, I would not say he's a white guy.
Like Paul Gasol's white.
I don't know.
Pull up a picture of Pau Gasol. It's exactly what we're talking about with Joker. Pull up a picture of Pau Gasol. It's a white guy.
I guess
I was
so.
laughing at that reaction.
Pau Gasol. Yeah, he's a white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
folks, that's Hank. That's a white guy.
But if I saw like a dark Italian guy, I'm not calling that a white guy.
I think most Italians are white too. I think we're
Well, I
thinking,
mean, of course
like,
they are, but I'm saying like when I classify when I'm like white guys, I don't think of like a Portuguese guy.
No,
You know?
but like
I don't think of a.
But again, I think like who are you picturing when you picture a Portuguese guy?
I don't know. There's not many famous like Portuguese
I-
guys that
I
come off
think-
the top of my head. Now, like Danilo Gallinari is a white guy. He's Italian. He's a white guy. But there are Italian guys that I would never be like, that's a white guy.
Just like the,
It's basically just like your complexion and your your style.
yeah.
You
Let's
know,
just
like,
make the rule
if
this:
you're-
if you're white, you're white.
That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
That was like a debate.
But then it's like because then you run into the all first team like racially ambiguous. You know what I mean? Because there are black guys who are light skin, and then it's
Yeah.
like
Well,
the
that's-
Jimmy Grahams, the Blake Griffins, the Steph Currys. Like
Well, that
there are
was-
probably Italian guys who are darker than some of those guys.
that was Will's great parameter. If you say the word, you can play. You don't play
Yeah,
with us.
yeah,
If you don't say
right.
the word, you can probably play with us.
Right.
But,
Right. I almost think there needs to be something.
I
along-
love him going, but yeah, you should probably play over there too.
I feel like there's probably a guideline in my book of like, do you worry about the sun or not? Like if you put on sunblock, if you need to worry about, if you know what
What's your
SPF
yeah?
is.
What is your SPF?
Yeah.
The Italian thing, like Danilo has to worry about something, but
Right.
I have to worry.
But there's
like,
some Italians
Yeah.
who just put olive oil on their body and like soak in the sun. It's like I guess it's like a southern and northern Italy thing. But it's like it's almost like the genders where it's like there used to be a time it's like if you have a dick you have a vagina. If you like to have sex with men you like to have sex with women. And all of these things have mashed up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of happened with race and how you identify and all that. Do you worry about the sun?
Rachel Dolezal
Because
was
there's-
early for a time.
Yeah, she was. She really was. Too. I had a field day with that woman on the blog, and then that became, common. That became not common, but at least more of a regular
Dude,
thing.
we had a big fight in the Milton office once where I was like, David Ortiz is black, and they're like, no, he's Dominican. And I was like, well, he's still black.
I don't know that one either. I don't know what the
He's
rules
not
are.
African American, but
Right,
he's black.
right. Yeah. But I don't think he would want to be called that.
I think
I think he'd be like, I'm Dominican. If you asked him, what are you? I don't think he'd say I'm a black guy. He'd say I'm Dominican.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
So it's
That's
like,
true.
but then that's almost like, what do you identify as? It's like, I don't know, man.
You know the answer. You know the answer. All is, well, the cops call you.
Will the guy shoot you or not? Jesus Christ.
Well, we asked the boys down at the precinct.
Which weapon would you use, a taser or your full ass gun first? Which one? I think when it comes to that, I think the Dominicans get touchy about that. Because then there's Puerto Rican guys who are light too, and then you get into a whole thing. There was a whole thing with Fat Joe. Like, why can Fat Joe say it? It's like Fat Joe can fucking say it. He's fucking Joe Crack that Don. Come on. One of the greatest rappers of all time. Gave us Don Cartagena and Big Pun. He's from the fucking Bronx. He's a rapper. He can say it. Come on. I mean, who am I to give out the card?
Speaking of race, I saw something fucking hilarious this morning. There was a guy dropping off a package that like the guys were working at the grocery store and like packaging everything. And it's
You
a
at the
white
grocery
guy.
store this morning?
What's up?
Oh, you were just walking by.
I'm just walking past
Okay,
the grocery
sorry,
store,
sorry.
and there's a white guy delivering a package, and he says, there's 4 Hispanic guys, all like packaging thing. He said, gentlemen's 4 or 5 times, no response. He just goes, papi. All 4 of them turned. He made a decision. He had somewhere to be, and it worked out.
Get the job done. That is fucking great. Yeah, listen, didn't take offense to it. They're probably like, what do you mean? Yeah, these are things that maybe the world is coming to a better place. Who knows? I would say that, but I also then saw it ties in nicely to what we were talking about last episode about how we were in the era of just hanging out with the homies.
Yeah.
Tinder rolling out $499 a month subscription. $6,000 a year to be on Tinder. And the kicker is they tell you if you're allowed to pay them that. It's in the top 1%, and you have to, like, have your profile this active with this many pictures and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then they're like, you're chosen to be. So those people are like, ooh. And they pay them fucking $500 a month. $6,000 a year.
That actually isn't that much, I don't think.
What?
It's obviously a lot for a dating app, but if you're a person who's very active on Tinder, if you're kind of the person who's going to get this invite, as it seems like you have to get invited by being active and stuff like that, it seems like it's something you spend a lot of time doing. And like
$500 a month for like almost anything, dude. Think about your bills. The only thing that's over $500 is your fucking rent.
Don't get me wrong. It's not for a sane, normal person with a logical brain. It's not a thing. But again, if I'm thinking if you're using it all the time, like if one day you got an invite, and this is probably back in the day, I think it's kind of lost its luster a little bit with us. But like if you had the money to spend and Twitter was like, we have exclusive Twitter for you. Mm-hmm. It's $500 a month, but like it's the best people on it. I don't know if I had the money, I'd be like, dude, this is what I spend most of my day on.
Yeah. I think there's something
particularly Tinder has the goal of like if you're that active, it makes me think you're actually looking for either love or fucking
or whatever.
You're probably
you're either like addicted to both.
You're like, well, I spend $500 on a night at the bar, like at a club on a dinner. Like, I guess I might as well just take.
Well, that was kind of the point too, though. Is like if you are just looking to fuck, you can spend your $500 in a much more direct way than.
But even that, like, I don't know, right? Like again, if the people who are so active,
I just can't imagine what they give you is that much more effective.
I would agree with that.
App. So it's like they were like you get like I think your profile gets like pushed out to more people. So maybe that is better, or it's like it's kind of like the algorithm, and you're buying like YouTube views, so
right?
You'll get blasted out to more girls or more guys. That seems valuable. Other than that, I think it was like you get more likes or some bullshit like that.
Well, that's nonsense.
The league, you know, the league, the one that's like the one that was like this is only for. It's not Raya, but it's like the league was like you have to be like an entrepreneur, you have to be rich,
no,
you have to be that one is like the most exclusive. That one has an option for $9.99 a month. That one I think had 3 options. That was like it was like minimum like $2.99, $4.99, $9.99. Bro, if you're paying $1,000 a month for a dating app, you got an affliction of some sort.
Yeah,
you're either desperately looking for a husband or you're a guy who is absolutely addicted to pussy.
Yeah,
that is fucking bananas. Because again, I think
you're
that the regular
who kills
apps,
every woman he fucks.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, like that. You're a serial killer and you're using that to find your next victim.
Because just having sex with the same woman is way cheaper than I thought. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Well, and then that's when you run into the age-old question of like everybody pays for it, and the question of like, do you pay for sex used to mean like a hooker.
Yeah.
And then the guys would always joke, well, I'm either paying for it up front or paying for it, afterwards. Now it can mean you're paying for it for a third-party app that will like filter it to you. So again, as the world evolves, the answers to these age-old questions continue.
Mind you, I want to be clear. This is something never in a trillion years would I do.
I'm stunned.
But I can just see I can see inside the brain of someone who's like, it's actually not a bad financial decision. It's not the worst financial decision. Again, particularly for like a New York person, if like it's a night at the bar, it's a good night at the bar. If you're like I'll get girls to the club, like you're gonna spend $500 there.
Yeah.
Or if you're gonna go to 2 dinners.
I just hear so much about the people on the apps who are already like, it seems like maxed out. Like I'm going on like 6 dates a week and. Like, I guess if Tinder is on the low, being like, we're gonna start connecting you to all the hot people.
Yeah,
like
I assume that.
Yeah, like if you're doing like AI shit, that's like we're scanning all the pictures. These are the attractive people, because I don't know how else you'd really, how else you can do that. But
I figured they were just openly saying that. That,
No, it's like
you have to be, by you have to be selected. That's telling me we're
Yeah.
picking hot people.
That's absolutely. What's going on.
yeah. I mean, yes and no, because it was also like there's just things that you have to have your profile like.
But I think that's
you know?
almost they're putting in the fine
print.
so they can when ugly people start to sue them, they can be like, oh, you
he's
weren't
got-
this.
yeah.
They're making the boxes that they didn't check.
So you think you're paying $500 a month to just be included in like the hot people club?
Yeah.
I think that if you're hot, you don't need. That's where I think it's like.
I-
What you need is the ugly people who want to get to the hot people. So I don't think they're inviting the hot people. I think they're inviting the tier down to be in the hot people club. Because the hot people aren't paying fucking $500 a month. They're just like, I get this shit for free.
That's a good point.
You know?
That's a good point.
So this is probably targeting average-ass dudes or even ugly dudes with money who are active on the site. And it's like, we'll put you in the cool kids club.
Yeah.
And I guess that there are plenty of dudes, there are plenty of people who buy friends, who buy their social life, who buy their girlfriends and all that. So it's not new, but it's usually a little less direct where it's like, hey, I have a nice house, or you want to go on my boat or whatever. To look your fucking app in the eye and be like, you're targeting me to like pay to get into the cool kid club, the hot people club. I don't know.
Dude.
It's a bridge I couldn't cross. You know, hats off to anybody who can. I think what Pav said the other day is the most I've ever felt like good about the next generation is hearing that, you know, it's just about like hanging out with the boys. And
Yeah.
that they're not. I mean, I was thinking about like when I was making 1 Minute Man, I was thinking I was having like an extended conversation that we had. Like pickup artists were like a thing in pop culture.
Yeah.
It was like, what are guys?
But like
in
he was a loser.
Yeah, well, I mean, we think that. There's a lot of people out there that were buying the books and watching the shows and trying to do that. It was always obviously like ridiculous, but there was a time where there was TV shows, books, like documentary, whatever, about these guys that it was
I feel like
celebrated in a way.
Every crew had the one guy who was like, dude, I read the game, and it's like, and if you were a good crew, you were
made fun
like,
of that
dude, you fucking suck.
No, the book is good. The guy who implements all that stuff is the problem.
You're not the guy that you can't spot the asshole at the table.
Neil Strauss, the game is an interesting book just because of the lifestyle those guys were living, and it's like reading about people in the goddamn circus. But yeah, the minute that when I'll never forget when I first read something that said HB10, and I was like, what's an H? What does that mean? Like that was part of like their lingo, and it was Hot Babe 10. Like they call it an HB8, HB9, HB10. I was like, if you ever say that literally, seriously to someone, like
It's also
yo,
just like
babe, or they
reinventing
would say,
the
like,
wheel. People
let's
use
go-
the numbers.
Yeah. But like, why do you need to put HB?
Why are you adding HB?
And they talked about it like it was a football scheme. They'd be like, let's go open up that 2 set of HB10s. Like, let's go talk to
I
girls.
did not
Let's
know
go
that.
talk
That's
to those
crazy.
girls. Oh my God, they had a whole. Fucking
You know that very simple number, what do you call it? System we have? We're going to add numbers to it. It's word letters to
It's
it. I can't talk.
complicated.
Yeah, it's
but
like
now
doing math.
that's like, you know, that would be even when people were like kind of making fun of that, like tongue in cheek, it was still a thing. Now I don't think that would ever even exist. You know what I mean? I would imagine by now that would be like a TikTok account or like shit like that. I feel like that's
Yeah.
just gone, and it is just about, you know, hanging with the crew.
Dude, my buddy told me this past weekend that he's like, yeah, me and my friends wanted to have kind of like a douchebag weekend or whatever you want to call it for New Year's. So they're like going to Miami and they're doing a table and they're doing all this stuff.
Oh, where at? I'll be there.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that
no,
question.
I'm not doing Miami. I'm with Chrissy's family.
But he was explaining to me, and he was very upset about this. He's like, we got a table. We got a nice table at wherever the fuck they got a table. And then they send you a list of girls. I think he said they have 40 submissions thus far. And the girls apply. And it's
Just to hang out with you?
just like you pick who will be there. He's like it's so weird and so
Bro,
like
I just got the bachelor party I went to. Like it wasn't like a list beforehand, but it was like we're gonna go to the club and it comes with bottles of this, bottles of that, like this many seats and like 10 girls. And I was like, And then they just sat there and drank our booze all night. And like, they were pretty. It wasn't like anything crazy where like all of a sudden it like changes your night because like everyone's like, oh my God, who are those guys or whatever. And then if you wanted to talk to any regular girls, it was weird.
Yeah.
Like the guys who were trying to hook up were like, well, there's all these weird like standoffish girls on their phone drinking all the liquor at our table. So what the fuck are we doing? So everybody just like was like standing at the bar or like on the dance floor or whatever, not using.
You guys
any...
just bought a table for 10 chicks.
yeah. And I mean, the guy thought he was doing the right thing, and I just paid whatever like my portion of it was. But I was like, thanks for fucking nothing, dude. I wasn't even drinking the liquor. I was buying because I was like, I'm not gonna just walk back and forth every time I want to drink. So I stood by the bar with the regular people and paid for my own drinks. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, you got boxed out, dude.
What else do we got?
Dude, I have to start the new year. I'm going hunting with Sydney Wells, and the Wonton Don. And so I'm in a group chat, and she just asked how we're doing on our
like prep,
like our hunting licenses. And I haven't even opened the thing, obviously.
Oh,
and Donnie,
Sydney, if this requires paperwork, there's no way this is happening.
Donnie goes, I did 5 chapters yesterday. I was like, bro, you did what yesterday?
I mean, I guess it makes sense. That's just serious, but
how? Like, just like. To go hunting in Louisiana, I got to do at minimum 5 chapters. I'm sure it's much more than that.
What does that mean? Like he read 5 or like you did work?
I'm sure it's like a fucking sexual harassment seminar where you just click through.
But I bet you it's kind of not. I bet you have to be able to answer some of those questions because they don't fuck around with that stuff. It's not like sexual harassment where it's like, you know the fucking answer. Like, don't fuck. Maybe it is. Maybe it's like, don't shoot the endangered
animal. But Dick Cheney did. Good or bad?
Yeah. But it might be like, you encounter this animal, can you shoot this or not? And you have to be like, I don't know if that's endangered or not or whatever.
Yeah.
That shit. I'll say this right now: if there's a decently involved test, I don't think you're passing it. I don't have faith in like anybody from here to pass that. That's just not in our blood, bro. I don't know. You give us.
I'm not a test taker.
I'm not good at testing. Yeah, you can give me a test on like New York City or something, like how to survive in the wild out here. What to do in the subways, what to do with the homeless people, what to do with the police, what to do with the traffic, all that shit. I'll probably pass it. You give me something about, the wildlife down there. I got nothing, dude. Fucking nothing. What are you hunting something specific or just going hunting?
Yeah, we're hunting duck. I don't think I could kill an animal. I think I can kill a duck.
Why you go throwing shade at a duck, not calling it an animal?
I like to eat duck.
Well, you like to eat fucking cow too.
Yeah, but it's just so big. It's
a size thing.
Yeah.
So if ducks were bigger, you'd have a problem.
Yeah, if ducks could like walk and stuff like that.
Well, ducks can walk. The phrase is if it walks like a duck.
That's a good point.
I hope that a duck walks right past. Like I hope there's a whole little family of ducks waddling by you, and then Sydney's
that
like,
I just
shoot
have to
them.
club to death.
Oh my god! I think actually a duck would be hard to shoot. I think ducks are kind of a cute little animal. I feel like you. I mean, I guess it's one of those like spray things, but I feel like you obliterate a duck with a gun.
I don't think so. I think it's a spray shot. But I think who knows? I might feel some type of way afterwards. I'm not gonna hit it anyway. But
were you clay shooting was not your best.
Yeah.
When I saw John clay shooting, I was like, I'll be honest. It's funny. I'm laughing at it, but like, I'll be honest. I think it's really hard. I'm not gonna give him a hard time to do it. But then I watched all my friends do it in Canada, and they all hit like everyone.
Really? Yeah. Bro, I was going with like guys who do sporting clays, and they were like, they were hitting them, but like not. It wasn't. They weren't not frequently.
No, I
mean, like you just throw that bottle through the air from 50 yards out. And
that's what I said, and then I watched some of my friends who were like scrawny and like not. I was like, they're not gonna be good at this. I wasn't doing it because I can't even fucking hold shit.
It is that I could say has been greatly exaggerated by cinema. Is that like the kick is like I was like firmly planted. I was like ready to get thrown back, and it's like
I still think you don't. I don't think you understand that you are as close to like a human Hulk as possible. Am I wrong? Am I overestimating this? Like John acts like he's me. He's just like, it's fine. It's like, yeah, because it's hitting into your stone shoulder. It's like Will Compton, a fucking 10-year NFL vet, is like, yo, you're fucking yoked. I'm starting to think John's on the gear.
No.
I think John's on the gear, man.
If I was, I'd say it, and I'm not against it if anyone has a guy.
No. Bro, if you were to be on sauce, you'd be an actual fucking meathead. I can't. Perception is reality. And like, you have a PR issue where we just joke about like you being fat or like not acknowledging that you're fucking ripped. So people just like think that.
Yeah, but it's also just like I don't.
Who cares?
Your arms are
But
filling out the cable knit sweater. That's crazy.
Huh?
Your arms are filling out the cable knit
Like
sweater.
if I put that on, that would look like a fucking blanket on me. That looks just. You look like the fucking Rock, dude. I mean, it's crazy. He's huge.
But also, like last night, I couldn't fall asleep at 5 a.m. I was thinking about it. There's a Dan Soder joke in Son of a Gary where I never really understood it. We were talking about how people can't fall asleep, and he's like, "It's because you're not eating late enough." And I always thought that eating made you like stay awake. I cannot fall asleep unless I eat.
Yeah.
And last night at about 4:30
You need like a
in the
treat
morning,
at night, right?
bro, I ate a bag of chips, a bag of
weird.
blue corn chips, 3 popsicles, 2 cookies.
What's
at
crazy
about 4:30
to me is
this morning.
like the sticker. There's no more sticker shock for me with the volume of food that you eat. You could have said a billion things there. I was just gonna gloss over it, but it's the choices. Like a bag of just blue corn chips is fucking like you didn't dip it.
No.
That's insane. And then to follow
Dip
that
in
up,
bed? I'm not disgusting, Kevin.
to follow that up.
I woke up with all the empty wrappers of those things in my bed.
Wait, what was the
still.
third? Popsicles and what?
2 popsicles, the 2 cookies, but like from West Side Market. But I had those same cookies.
Like wrapped up. Like,
No, I brought the bag. And, you buy cookies where you kind of roll the top down. It's there in like a paper bag.
yeah, but that's like Pepperidge. There's a lot of those. But
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. The same bag as a Tate's bag, but it wasn't.
Okay,
They were
okay, got
they
it,
were
got it,
made
got it.
by the market.
Got it.
And I had that bag in bed with me, the blue corn chips in bed, and 2 popsicles.
tortilla chips, popsicles, and cookies is like if I'm going for a snack, I want the ice cream, and I don't want a popsicle to go with that ice cream, and then I definitely don't want to have chips to go with any of those things. You just there's no rhyme or reason. It's just madness.
Yeah,
like
it's
chaos.
It's just
your eating is a chaos theory. It's just fucking all over.
But I do plan it. Like I'll have some popsicles, and then I'll do some salty, and then I'll do it back to the popsicle. Then I'll go to the cookie.
I mean, I respect that there is.
That was the order I did last night.
You're like the Anthony Bourdain of trash pandas. You do have this menu, if you will. You do have this code. It's just for just disgusting. When you go to sleep with a lot of food, like if I eat late at night, I almost die in my sleep. I feel like my body like doesn't digest it or something. Like my body goes to sleep and it like completely shuts down, and I just wake up and have like the food in my stomach. So,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that was.
Yeah.
And you just are okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I wake up.
Because I wouldn't sleep if otherwise.
I think I'm like puking in my sleep, about to die. Because it's like there's just like food like in my. Fucking,
No, I don't get that. I just wake up with a rock in my stomach.
Yeah, I just. And we're sure we're not pre-diabetic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last time I went to one doctor a year ago.
Yeah, I hope I'm not either. You're good because of that muscle thing.
Yeah, that was told to me by a non-doctor friend, but that.
Well, as we know, doctors versus non-doctors are basically the same fucking thing. Seriously, at this point, it's like who fucking.
I mean, it was by a psycho who like monitors it. He has the glucose thing that diabetic people have.
Right,
he just
right,
doesn't
right.
have diabetes. He just likes to monitor his glucose.
When you said that, I just assumed it was.
Wait, like the thing that sticks in your body?
The
And
pat is a patch on his arm.
If you like a
can opt
permanent
in.
patch.
You can opt into that?
I don't know if it's permanent. I guess I don't know
I
how it
was
works.
gonna say, how'd you
It's
even get it?
It's just like some black patch up here, and he's like, yeah,
That's
he's got an
fucking
app on his phone where he's always monitoring
crazy.
it. And
Who is that? Oh, when you said, it, I just thought it was.
no.
I just figured it was fat guy has diabetes problems. But so he's in shape, and he just does it
Yeah.
to like monitor.
That's crazy.
But he's not in like great shape. He's in shape. Yeah.
Crazy, man. Well, we're on the topic of health, I guess. When we were debating on Barstool Radio about giving up a kidney,
Yes.
who you would give it up for, I saw this story go reviral about this woman from Long Island. I think it was like 2012, so a little while ago now, but it just went viral on Instagram again. Who, her boss had like a kidney disease.
I saw this.
She donated a kidney, and then after that happened, she got fired immediately, and she's now suing. Did you read like the details on the case?
No. Sorry.
I assumed she donated the kidney to the boss. She donated the kidney to a stranger just so the boss could move up a slot on the donor list. What?
Shut up.
And then the boss fired her. So she said, I will donate my kidney to you. And they did the test and they were like, you're not a match. They're like, but by the way.
Was he number 2?
That's it
Like-
better
like-
be. That's what I mean. That was my point. Like if she moved up from like 31 to 30 because you donated a kidney to some bitch
Wait,
in
her
Idaho.
boss was a woman?
Yeah, this is all women.
Oh.
Even grimy there,
Twist.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was
Well, I knew it was a woman who donated. I figured it was to a guy.
I would
boss.
imagine that probably has to be. You probably have to be same sex too.
Oh, really?
No,
Maybe not.
Jordan donated to
Oh,
her
to her
dad.
dad. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, it was a woman who donated to a woman, which it does make it.
I don't know if that.
catty.
I don't know if that was a sexist assumption of me or a feminist assumption of me.
that women kidneys can.
No, that the boss was a man.
Oh,
So I think it came from a place that he's a dickhead. It's got to be a guy. I don't think it came from
that's
the
an
boss as a
interesting
man.
exercise, though.
Yeah.
Why? What? The boss has got to be a man? No, the asshole's got to be a man.
I think I can't tell you where it really came from, but I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. That, like, he's an asshole. It's an asshole. It's a guy.
No, well, but if you think about it this way too, it makes sense with girls. It's like when they turn on a girl, it's like we're best friends, and then they just. I watched a video the other day of a duck, or not a duck, but a bird, a mom just picking up its baby and throwing it out of the fucking nest because they do. It's called like thinning or something like that, herd thinning, where it's like we have a family of 3 ducks, one of them is like. Born with a deficiency, and if we have to like drag you along, like we're a threat, we're weak to all predators, so we just gotta get rid of you.
That's what the Kennedys did.
I'm gonna call it. I think that's the funniest thing John's ever said. I think that might have been the funniest moment ever on this podcast. That was so off the rip like that, like so quick.
That was really fast.
That was fucking unbelievable. You would have thought it was scripted or something. You do have good Kennedy humor. You have a lot of good Kennedy
Us mass
jokes.
boys stick together. Unless you're Rosemary.
Bro, I saw another thing. They were just talking about how the guy who invented the lobotomy won the Nobel Peace Prize, and the end of the tweet was like, "It is widely regarded as the biggest mistake in modern medicine history." Like it's relatively recent that like. I thought lobotomies were invented in like the fucking 1600s.
Yeah.
It was like Rosemary was like one of the first ones. They were just like, I don't know, your brain's fucked up. Let's just put an ice pick in there. Maybe it'll stop. And she was just like a slut. She was just like acting up.
Yeah, she was
just like a party girl. And they were
wild
like, let's
women rarely
fucking
make history
bang.
unless you're Rosemary the Kennedy. They're like, that's the first lobotomy ever.
Then you're in the history books for good.
No, wait, no. It's that's not it. Wild women exclusive.
Well-behaved women.
Well-behaved women.
Yeah. So
Which-
so she proves that.
Right. The
Well-behaved women rarely make history because they're not getting lobotomies from their dad.
Fuck, what was I just gonna say? I forgot. Whatever.
On TikTok, they recently had videos like going around of people who were lobotomized, and it's like, how did anyone think like, yeah, we fixed them? Like, all of them, they are just gone in the eyes. It is crazy.
I don't think I've ever seen a lobotomized person.
It's like the one I saw on TikTok, I was like, this is horrifying. Like,
Anyway, if I donated a kidney, first of all, I ain't donating a kidney to my boss. These people who get like hooked on coworkers, even like a place like here, where like we're probably way more friendly, and there are certainly people who are like family here. At the end of the day, like, these are still fucking coworkers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Here is definitely different.
Definitely
because so many
different.
people moved here for this.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. But there is also a world where there are people who will probably talk to each other every day. That if they were to get a new job, you would just like float apart.
Oh,
you know
no
what I
one
mean?
who I was friends with at Barstool who doesn't work at Barstool anymore do I ever talk to.
Exactly. I mean, if me and you
not
break up,
that I like don't talk to them. It's just like we don't really.
If me and you break up, we'll probably talk like once every 6 months.
Yeah,
and that's okay. That's okay. That's just how it's supposed to be. It's like my best friends in the world when I was growing up, I talked to like twice a year.
Bro,
it's just, I mean, but we're not like crying over it. We're just like, yeah, I don't know, what's up, man?
Yeah, this weekend, my friends, I was like, when was the last time I saw you? My my literal best friend's like, I think 2 years ago, and like we haven't spoken since.
Literal best friend, right? It's crazy.
I
think that's more of a guy thing. Girls like always make sure they keep in touch so they can talk shit about each other. But guys can go far. But so my point being that like you could be like, oh man, I work with this person every day. I gotta save them, and then you get laid off or something, and you never talk to them again. That's if I gave my kidney directly to them. If they then said to me, "Oh my God, it sucks. We're not a match, but hey, you want to just give it to a stranger so that I can move up a little bit?" And actually, I'm at the point where I'm like, "Joke's on you. Like, fool me once, fool me twice." If you still agree to do that, you know what it is, I bet that woman was like, as a boss of this company, I don't want people like you.
Yeah.
you're too easily persuaded to do stupid things. I can't trust you. You're fired. But my God, if I gave someone a kidney and then they fired me, I would take the kidney back. I'd be like, I'm cutting it out of you. I can't put it back in me, but you no longer get my kidney. I'm burning your house down and stealing your fucking kidney.
That genuinely, like, knowing, I was first like, oh, that guy's an asshole. But now, like, giving it to a stranger, there's something wrong with you. Like, you
gotta have like a savior
was your
complex
angle?
or whatever.
Like you were
Yeah.
Well, hoping that was covering for something.
Well, remember that woman went viral a couple years ago when she gave a kidney to a stranger and then didn't get enough praise for it.
No.
Oh, that was the best. That was like a big like Twitter thing. She had like a long post or Reddit or something where she just signed up. We did it on KFC Radio. She just signed up like as a donor, found a fucking person, gave it to him, like anonymous, all that shit, and then was like, nobody said anything. It was like, yeah, bitch, like nobody fucking knows or cares. You did this to your fucking self. That was, but I think that was pretty like hotly debated because there were people who were on her side. I was like, fuck no, don't listen. You only get one set of organs, and I understand there's 2 kidneys, but there's only 1 set of kidneys. That's it. Shit might go wrong. You need your backup. But shout out to Jordan for doing it for her dad. And last thing I want to talk about is Zack Snyder.
Oh, crazy,
bro.
Dude.
Zack Snyder. I'm not a movie freak. I like to watch movies. I don't know enough about, to know all the directors and shit. All I know is every time a Zack Snyder movie comes out, it sucks. And he tells you that there's a secret special version that's awesome.
Is he still eating off 300? Was 300 his last like good movie?
Yeah. Because when I was reading the comments about people arguing, the only people arguing in his defense say 300 and something
Watchmen.
about Dawn, something about falling or Dawn or something
Dawn
like
of
that.
the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead. Yes, Dawn of the Dead. People are like 300 is awesome. Dawn of the Dead is awesome.
The Watchmen is the Watchmen show he did? Was he?
No, he did the movie.
The Watchmen movie actually, I think, if the Watchmen movie came out now, it would be I think awesome. So you got to give him credit there. And it is awesome. It just didn't get the publicity in the box office because it was just ahead of its time. But when your last couple movies absolutely fucking suck, and
his Netflix movies were sick.
That's what happened with his latest one.
Yeah, they weren't trying to be anything more than like it was like Army of the Dead or something. It was like in Vegas zombies.
I haven't seen it, but I know with Dave Bautista. Right?
Yes, they have to extract someone from the middle of like the Vegas Strip.
I actually fuck with zombie movies too. I should watch that.
That was the one that
that's really good.
Dalia got fully edited out of. Yeah,
that's tough. You just can't do this like twice in a row.
Yeah.
You can't be like my
kind
cut.
of 3 times in a row, right? Because did he do the Flash?
No.
He didn't do the Flash.
The Flash.
Wait, what? I'm under the impression the Snyder Cut was Justice League.
Yes.
Yeah, Justice League.
Was there also a Batman versus Superman thing though?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's
I
Justice
don't
League
know.
and then this, but like when the Snyder Cut, I've heard of the term director's cut, right?
Yeah.
But I've never heard of like this Scorsese cut. I've never heard of the Christopher Nolan cut. They just make the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And then there's an extended version that's like 5 hours, and it's like, here's absolutely everything for the weirdos who want to watch everything. Lord of the Rings has that too. Like, here's everything we filmed, you know? But the movie is the movie. And if your movie sucks, you know, and I do go back to his daughter dying is fucked up. Like,
What the hell's that have to do with
his
it?
daughter died in the middle of the last one.
Oh, has everything to do with it.
Yeah, yeah. I do forget that. I always do this. I yell about him and then I'm like, fuck, wait a minute. So that is tough. So he's like, you know, that totally fucks your shit up and then the movie's not the same. But why can't he just be like, the movie, you know, wasn't a good movie. Why does it have to be?
Yeah, I mean, like, you would think at this level, you would have it written into your contract. Like, particularly after it happened with Justice League, I would think, again, even being a successful director before that, you'd have it in your contract, like, it's my movie.
Right.
What I make.
One or the other. It's either
What
like he needs to do that or the studio needs to, like, there just needs to be an agreement. Like, I have power or you have power, and then, like, and there's no more after that. There's no more talking about that. Because it torpedoes the whole fucking thing.
I don't think if, like, a studio would say, and again, we're talking about Zack Snyder, not Scorsese or not fucking Christopher Nolan, but, like, I don't think a studio would tell them, we're going to make some edits to this.
Well, apparently this one was like they wanted it PG-13 and he wanted it to be R. So his version is R. And I'm like, all right, what? There's a few more curse words and some violence. Like, I don't think that's going to change the whole.
Hey, Zach, why don't
fucking...
you put it on Barstool TV?
The Barstool.TV, Zach. The Snyder Cut. Let's go.
We'll put that on Barstool TV, $9.99.
Don't worry, it'll be on the on-demand tab or maybe the Watch Now tab, or it could be. You know what's funny? We universally all agreed that thing sucked, and I bet there's no one making any changes to that at all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
Absolutely not.
No.
Not one person is thinking, hey, we did get 120,000 downloads or whatever, subscriptions. We should utilize this again, but we should make sure that by the time we do it again, it's good. Not one person's doing that. Crazy, man.
Speaking of directors, Christopher Nolan had a quote recently I loved where he was asked about the state of cinema, and he was like, they're like, what do you think of it or whatever? Do you think it's good? And I think they were probably fishing for an answer like, no, it's terrible.
Right.
He's like, I just made a 3-hour-long movie about Robert Oppenheimer that was rated R and half of it was black and white, and I made $1 billion.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty good.
I was gonna say if there's one dude to ask that, it's like I do whatever I want, and people seem to love it. So maybe not for everybody else, but for me, it's pretty fucking great.
It's his best movie ever, like financially. It's wild.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, should we address our guest today?
Oh, yeah.
Whoops. Today, two fellas joined the program. You may have heard of them. Zack Efron and Jeremy Allen White. If that ain't the most KFC Radio thing that we ever just did do right there.
Yeah.
1 hour KFC Radio thing we ever did do is have two of like the biggest and probably the one hottest fucking movie star on the planet on the show today. And 45 minutes in, we talk about it. We'll have to
we should put something up top.
Yes. If you've made it this far, you will have heard an intro. But just know that we went back and put that in there. Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White unfortunately, on the show. They're not in person. It's over Zoom. Crushes my soul. Hurts me to the core to do Zoom interviews. I'm a goddamn purist, and I need it to be in person. Hopefully one day that'll come to be with at least one of those guys, if not both of them again. But we got them over Zoom to talk about Iron Claw, which is out on December 22nd, and I think it's going to I guess really Oppenheimer great. And all that. It's a big year for movies, but Iron Claw feels like it's getting a lot of momentum.
It's real. I went in knowing nothing, which I think I've said to you is a new thing I'm doing with movies.
Yeah,
that's my favorite thing to do.
Saltburn or whatever.
The way to Saltburn. I did it
with
Leave the World Behind. I did it with something else recently, and I used to be a trailer guy. Yeah. I don't know if you know the website traileraddict.com. I used to spend most of my day on traileraddict.com just watching trailers. And now I'm just like, oh, okay. So I didn't know anything about the Iron Claw. I knew it was a wrestling movie. I didn't know even what the tone of the movie was. I was like, I don't know if it's just like the fellas getting fucked up and like wrestling, or like I don't know if it was like about the drugs of like, you know, how a lot of wrestlers kind of fall into that world of addiction. It is not about either of those things. It is about the Von Erich family, who if you're wrestling, you know it.
God damn, look at that.
It's fucking nuts. Efron is Efron is very much I think in his I'm an actor era, which I respect because he is, and like you kind of almost have to like.
He's for sure trying to get that nom, get that award.
I don't even know if it's that. I you know I've often thought about this where like I think we always say like just do the whatever, like even when McConaughey started doing True Detective and Dallas Buyers Club, shit like that, where it's like just do like the thing that makes a ton of money for your life. Like you just get bored.
Yeah,
and also I bet you get
especially
like
him, Efron. He's been acting since he was 15, doing musicals and singing and dancing and shit, and then eventually you do some comedies. Like he's done it all.
But it's almost too like you want to be like, well, also by the way, like I can. It's like what Adam Sandler does, where like once every 5-10 years, he's like, hey, by the way, I'm fucking awesome.
Especially, I mean, Jeremy Allen White has always kind of been this guy, but like he was, I think, like a Juilliard or something. Like he did like ballet. He's done, he's done it. These guys are arts people.
Right.
They're not. You forget sometimes because it's like, all right, yeah, I did High School Musical or like I did Baywatch, but it's like I'm a theater kid, and I want to make people fucking cry, and I want to be nominated alongside the greats.
He owns this movie. It's very, very, very good. I really enjoyed it. I wanted to see it with Clemmer, and Clemmer popped in. He said it's probably number 4 or 5 of his favorite movies this year.
Wow. So yeah, we got them on the show. It is via Zoom. There was like a delay and kind of like an audio issue where like the volume it kills me, man.
We'll tighten that up.
Yeah. But I just know that if those guys were in person, it would have been an entirely different vibe and a hang almost. So maybe one day we'll. I know does Jeremy Allen White still live in New York, or is he in LA now?
I would guess LA.
I mean, he's pretty New York through and through, though. But so we'll check out the boys on the back end. But now let's get into our voicemails.
Wait, before voicemail, should we make the announcement?
What's the announcement?
This is the last episode of KFC Radio ever.
What is this? Because it doesn't.
No, it's because we don't have contracts anymore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. What? This is by the time we
By the time we come back,
we're on break.
We will have no contracts.
And there's no way a contract's getting done with the break. So
no one's even talked to us.
I have not had a single conversation about my
when we get back, we will be doing the show for free, which is slightly less money than I make now. But
I'm Jackie and Pavs in here.
I almost think maybe we should protest or something. And when they're like, "Where's the episode?" I'd be like, "I don't work for you." What are you talking about? I don't work.
It's probably not a great look for us that no one's mentioned.
Well,
Erica did. Erica mentioned. Erica's like, we know your contract's up. And I was like, okay. And then that was it.
I tried.
I don't know if that was her firing me.
I tried like a year ago, and they put something in front of me that like didn't really make much sense, or like we couldn't really figure out, and then that just disappeared. But I was like,
I honestly don't know how it works. I don't know if I get paid when we come back.
No, it'll keep rolling because there have definitely been people who've gotten fired and not fired, and money just keeps rolling in. It's straight out of we're Milton in the Office. It's like, we fixed the glitch sort of thing. I was kind of like in my head playing a game of chicken. I was playing like a one-sided game of chicken, like who's gonna blink first. It's like trying to play chicken with a stationary car that's not driving at you. They're not even in the car. They don't even know that they're playing. And then I don't know, crashed the car into it. And I was like, oh, okay. I crashed the car. I guess I won or lost. I don't know.
Erica, probably 3 weeks ago, Erica was like, hey, we know your contract's up. Talk to Dave. And I was like, okay. And then when we were in Chicago, I heard Dave was having contract talks, and I was like, he's probably going to talk to me. And he didn't. So
I can't decide whether that. I mean, it's obviously. And then I was about to say I can't decide. It's obviously an enormous slap in the face. Enormous. It shows how. But on the flip side, I think it's just like they know something's going to get done. But I'm like, I don't know. Is it? What if you come back with a number that is like crazy to me? And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know. I don't want to work for that number.
It's you know what's happened is they've taken the shot collar off the dogs. They're like, we know he's not going anywhere.
Yes. That's it. Listen. There are like two things. There are two things
That idiot still thinks there's a fence.
You ever see those dogs?
That's me. I'm like,
You ever see those dogs like they put like
look at him. He thinks he can run away.
They put they put him in a box. They tape him up in a box. Like they just tape the floor, and the dog like looks around like he's trapped. That's us. We're just like, I'm trapped by the tape. I can't leave. Two things I've done my whole career here, which I wholeheartedly regret, and I will never ever tell anybody to do, is one, not have an agent.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who's had an agent here always like gets better contracts and gets what they want, and nobody who doesn't have an agent is ever like,
bro, I've never
rewarded.
negotiated.
And that was kind of my second thing is I've shut down any sort of like anybody who's ever shown interest or any sort of outside conversation, even about employment, about opportunities, I was always just like, I can't, whatever. Have all of those conversations, have the meanest, most annoying agent, have like all of those things, because that's the only way to get what you want.
They come to me. I've literally never negotiated. They just show me a paper. I go, okay.
I've negotiated like once where I countered and they said yes so quickly that I was like, oh, that means that number was low, which means that first number was insulting. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll be back. Maybe we won't. Who knows? Imagine if they were just like, well, yeah, we're not renewing you.
I tip a cap.
That would be very funny if they were just like, yeah, I mean, your contracts are up. We haven't talked to you. Like, you thought you were going to get renewed? Yeah. We talk to people who we care about like a year in advance. Dave is always like, we are famous for renegotiating contracts and ripping them up and extending people when we want to keep them. Well,
Gonna hit up Just Media, boys.
Oh my God! Imagine that.
What's that?
That's the Mean Girls.
Oh,
Those fucking assholes. The other day, Josh sent me a clip. Jordan says something like, "You have something to announce to the world," and Alex goes, "I'm pregnant," and they cut the clip, and then the full thing of it was her going like, "I'm just joking, I'm not." Like, it wasn't even like it was about a pregnancy story. It was just literally a made up. There was a whole different story. Like, I would never listen to a show again that did that to me. It was just like, yo, I got a crazy story. Like, somebody died. And you tune in and it's like, that didn't happen.
Historically, just blatantly lying to your audience is not
it's not it. All right.
To be clear, we actually don't have contracts.
But yeah, that is all real. That is all very real. God, I wonder if they'll even hear, like, when do you think we get contracts? Because I was kind of playing chicken, and I definitely lost this game of, like, I wanted to see how much or if they valued me enough to be like, hey, we saw your contract is coming up, and, like, we have an offer for you. Obviously, that didn't happen. So part of me was like, maybe it's on me. Am I supposed to go to the employer and be like, hey, I still want to work here, but I don't think it is. But now I'm running into the problem of like, A, I need all my paychecks and benefits and all that sort of shit. I don't think that runs out or changes, but maybe. 2, if we have any sort of incentives that are for bonuses, I want to start working on those. You know what I mean? It's like if I have a bonus based on how many views or how much money 1 Minute Man makes, I gotta like keep doing those. But if I'm not gonna get that, I don't fucking do it. You know what I mean? So it's like I gotta know what we're doing.
I'm actually the opposite. I'm okay letting it go for as long because then back pay. Like, I imagine the contract would start January 1st. Like, fucking, let's sign it in August. I don't give a shit.
It's so, we were watching Dave and Will argue about Will's agent, and like Dave talking about how much he hates him and stuff, and it's like,
I hate agents. I like fights. I just say a number. He signs the paper.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like you hate the agent because you like suckers like us. But then I always thought to myself, like, one day it'll like be rewarded or like acknowledged. No,
Never.
No.
Yeah, that is that is my lesson. Don't ever do anything out of like the niceness of your heart when it comes to work. Just you work to make money. That's
Don't
it.
give your boss your kidney.
Yeah, they really, metaphorically and literally, don't give your boss your kidney. Voicemails. What do we got? Last voicemails ever. We should just like when we come back and don't have contracts for like 2 months. Every episode, be like, this is the last one. This is the last one. We'll go till March. Voicemails today are brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. If you're going to call up the KFC Radio hotline to leave a voicemail, like everyone's been doing for the last 10, 12 years, make sure you do it with Straight Talk Wireless, the best available phone plans on the market today. Why is it the best? It's the best because you get unlimited data, text, and talk at the lowest possible price. And on top of that, you get perks like a Walmart Plus membership where you get free shipping with no minimum order. You get free delivery from Walmart stores. You get a Paramount Plus membership. So if you want to stream any of the movies or videos that are coming out of Paramount Plus, your Straight Talk Wireless allows that. And you save money on gas. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. But your fuel is going to be cheaper when you have Straight Talk Wireless. So the things you hate to spend money the most on, your phone bill and your gas bill, you can knock both of those down by signing up with Straight Talk Wireless today. It's available at Walmart and Walmart.com. So go get your Straight Talk Wireless today.
Hey guys, what's up? I got a story that leads into a question for you. So I do a football pool every year where I each pick the winners and losers of every game every week. And it's got about 40
Can we press
people
pause
in
for a
it.
second? I think this is the first ever umbrella rain voicemail.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah.
a crazy move to be walking in the rain and be like, let me get this question.
I mean, it's got to be about the fact that you just talked about how you're using umbrella, right?
Maybe. I wasn't really listening because I was focusing. I was trying to figure out the background. Can you bring it back about 10 seconds? Yep. I just want to hear.
Hey guys, what's up? I got a story that leads into a question for you. So I do a football pool every year where I each pick the winners and losers of every game every week. And it's got about 40 people in it. And my grandmother, who has no sports interest beyond watching curling all the time, expressed that she'd be interested in playing with us this year. So I let her join, and sure enough, we're only, 15, 16, and she is in second place in the football pool. And so I was FaceTiming her the other day. We were talking about the Monday Night Football game, and she asked me my opinions on the game, and I go, give her my opinions, whatever, blah, 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 doesn't matter. And she said, okay, yeah, that sounds good. That matches up with the opinions of the guy that I found online. And I said, okay, interesting. Did you find an expert pick, an expert analyst, or looking at their picks and stuff to get some help? And she said, yeah, I found this one guy. He seems to be pretty good. And so I asked, what's his name? And she said, oh, it's some, I don't know. And so she said, I don't know, it's some Brady guy. He's got 4 kids or something. And so I said, oh, Tom Brady, is that the guy? And she says, yeah, that's the one. And so, it's week 16, and my grandmother just found out who Tom Brady is, and she's second place in the football pool. So my question for you is there ever has there ever been a time where there's an activity that you like to do or something you enjoyed to do, and you showed it to a family member of yours or a friend, and they either got way too interested in it way too quickly, or they got way too good way too quickly, and you might have thought, maybe I shouldn't have shown them this. That's it. Viva.
Probably.
Way too interested way too quickly happens to me all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
but
just like, I don't like sharing.
What's worse, that or people being really good at it?
I think I find humor in someone being really good. I think like a sick where you're like, yeah, it doesn't matter at all, clearly.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how much, when
no matter how much effort you put in.
When people take, I just don't like extreme emotion. When someone's like, this is amazing. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I like it, and I told you about it. But, like, that's too much.
Yeah.
That is.
It happens all the time. Music. Music, I think, is a big one. When people get into a music person, they just, go obsessive. Movies, I feel like, all that shit where it's like, yeah. Like, oh, you're just going back and watching all that now? Like, fuck off, I think it's two very different things. One I think can be, like, annoying, like, you're bothering me. One is like, fuck. God damn it. Like I've been trying to do this for so long and you can just naturally do it.
Yeah, that if it's physical, that would bother me, but I don't really do a lot of like physical things anymore that I share with people, like I
guess for us it would be podcasting.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you should all try podcasts.
I mean, your grandma kicking your ass at your NFL pool is funny.
Bro,
Like, come on.
My dad and my brother were at the Pats Chiefs game the other day, and my brother said the people sitting in front of them were like just hammered chicks in their 20s, and he's like I'm smart. I know when someone's like being sarcastic or like being like girly or whatever, and he's like
Is your dad or your brother?
My brother. He's like the girls are genuinely like, why isn't Brady playing? And he's like, he's like, they were shit-faced and screaming, like, just put in Tom Brady. And he's like, they didn't, he's like, again, I was there for 4 hours. I was trying to process, like, is it a bit? Are they a joke? He's like, they were genuinely like, put in Tom Brady. And I wanted to fucking throw myself off a fucking ledge.
That would drive me fucking insane. That makes me happy to know that that's what the fan base is reduced to right now. Yes, give me more. Give me more.
Good morning, guys. Just a quick question with a little bit of a backstory. I currently live in Ohio, just a small town or village with maybe a population of 200 people.
What?
We have a post office, a bar, and one homeless guy that rides around on a lawnmower, mooching Wi-Fi from everybody's houses. I plan to move out of state by August of next year, but there's always going to be that place in my heart for that small town living or, that small town USA feeling. You guys have traveled quite a lot during your time with Barstool, so I was wondering if you had any stories or situations that highlight that small town USA feeling.
Yo, let me say this. If there's a town of 200...
That's not small town USA.
That's not?
No, that's small town USA is bigger than that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's like.
yeah. I was gonna say, if you have a town of 200 and there's one homeless man, I don't know, like build that guy a house or something. There's one of you.
Wait, did he say that?
Yeah, he said there's one homeless guy who rides around on a lawnmower stealing Wi-Fi from everyone.
Or
like just like one of the families needs to be like, you can live with us.
Yeah.
We have like when he moves out in August of 2025 or whatever his plan was. Homeless guy gets his bed.
Dude,
that's fucked up.
0.5% of the population is homeless. That's a big number.
Bro, that is 200 people is like, yeah, you're like one of those, like when you hear like the indigenous clan has never seen like anybody, they live in seclusion. This is the first time they've ever seen anybody. I don't even know how, like, do you have a grocery store? Like, 200 people is not enough for like a factory to deliver to that spot to bring food and groceries. You know what I mean?
That's like I've read like 95%
I
think of America lives within 20 minutes of an Amazon facility. Or they can deliver you in 20 minutes or half hour, whatever it is.
This has got to be the 5%.
This is the 5. Yeah,
but he didn't sound like some Appalachian like inbred hillbilly.
No,
you know what I mean? Sounds like a normal ass dude. 200 is so nuts. I mean, that's like you're inbreeding at some point.
Yeah,
think about it. Like 200 people, like 50 of them are babies, 50 of them are ancient, and there's like 100 in the middle, and only a couple of them are like good looking, and you're fucking your family for sure. This guy's absolutely fucked his family member. There's no way around it. A bunch of just inbred, incest freaks. I mean, I can't. What's the smallest town we've ever been to? Like,
I was
Dallas?
gonna say with most of the travel we've done,
Milwaukee. I don't know. Like these are all major cities. The smallest town I've ever been to was I think Meadville, Pennsylvania, is where my dad's dad was from, and that was like a big steel mill factory, locomotive train like industry city town. And then when that moved out, it's just empty, but it's still like a bustling metropolis compared to it. It had a movie theater. It had a fucking, a mall. It had, everything. So, I mean, let me look up the population. I'm sure it's like tens of thousands compared to 200. Meadville population. Yeah, 12,800.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, that's small, but like, 200 is nothing. Is Meadville, Pennsylvania a good place? It's a safe place to live because everybody there is fucking dying. Everyone's dead.
I mean, even like I was trying to think from like blackout tour stuff. Like I got
anywhere we would have gone would have been a place to make money, which means there's more than 200 people there.
Yeah.
Like, if we came to your,
if you can promise that your entire town will come to the club that night, it maybe will be worth our time. 200. God
I mean,
damn.
my parents are from not from, but live in a very rural town now, and I think there are 200 people on their street.
Right,
Like-
right. 200 people is like, church on Sunday. Rural, one of my least favorite words in the English language.
Rural
Rural.
The Roger.
Last voicemail for the history of the podcast.
What's up, boys? What's up, Jackie? Platonically, of course. So I got an Am I the Asshole story and question. So my last date I went on a while ago before my current fiance I was in the city, and it was going well. And then this chick towards the end of the date, she was like, "Hey, I got something to show you." So I was like, okay. And out of her purse, she pulled out this hat. It was a very specific hat. It was just a white hat. It said 1988 World Series on it. No teams or nothing. And it was signed at a bunch of places. And my dumb ass goes, "Oh my God, I had that exact same hat. And I used to get drunk at bars and get people to sign it." And she goes, "Yeah, you idiot. I signed it. You gave it to me last summer at some beach town in South Carolina." I was like, what? And needless to say, the date kind of went south from there. She was legitimately upset that I didn't remember her, and I got weirded out she didn't tell me. So the Am I the Asshole question is, am I the asshole for not remembering her and getting weirded out by that? Or is she the asshole for going through this entire date process and the date and not telling me? Side note, I'm going to miss that fucking hat. Anyways.
She's the asshole.
She's 100% the asshole.
Like,
if someone's dealing out the apparel they're wearing at a bar,
they're shit-faced.
you're not. You can't
partying.
be expected that they're going to be like, remember
"Hey, sign my
everything."
hat." Like, you're doing like a fun bar thing.
Yeah.
That's like the equivalent of like you danced with me at a bar once. It's like,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I danced with fucking everybody. Like, I was goofing around. I had people signing my hat. It was a fun. That's actually, I think that's a great bit.
I think it's a great bit.
It's,
Yeah.
like, hey, we're all sharing this moment. Like, sign my hat. And then, like, he probably was trying to get laid with this girl back then. Hey, you can keep it. I don't know, whatever. to like match and know that.
Was it a first date? Did he say? It
Can you-
doesn't really matter. But it
I
was
feel
an,
like
it was
it's
an
gotta
early
be.
date.
Yeah.
That would weird me out to such an extreme
That has to be
level.
the first thing you say.
Yeah.
Or the never thing you say.
Right.
You never bring that up because
Like-
you missed your window.
When people say like, oh, like they say it romantically, almost how we've joked about how like your grandfather's story is like, I asked her out 100 days in a row and she said no every day and she finally said yes, and then people are like, that's so romantic, and now it's like, dude, that's fucking insane.
So creepy. Yeah, so creepy.
Where it's like if a girl reveals 10 dates in, 20 dates in, however many dates in, be like, by the way, I've been like pursuing you for this whole time. Like, that's fucking weird, man. I thought we were meeting
for
each
the first
other
time.
and you've been pursuing me.
Right,
like that's
right.
That's fucking bizarre.
What do you think about if a real life movie situation ever happened to you? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, a She's All That, either started out as a bet and then I fell in love with you.
I think I'd be more okay with that.
I think I'd be so okay with that.
Because it's
I think if someone explained that to me, I would, first of all, I would be like, oh, it's like She's All That.
Yeah, right.
Like, I've seen this before. So maybe that has happened in real life. But
I feel like that's almost like you had something that pushed you over the edge to make contact or to whatever it is, versus like something that's just been looming.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like if in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and She's All That and stuff, the entire relationship like started under this thing, whereas he has had this like secret one-sided thing going the whole time. That's weird.
Yeah.
But if someone was like, I guess She's All That kind of sucks, where it's like, oh,
I don't really remember She's All That.
She's All That is like you have to take the ugly lame girl to prom.
Yeah.
And then the joke is that she just takes her glasses off and puts her hair down. But that means that like prior to this, you were like, this girl is fucking awful.
Yeah.
That sucks. If like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days came up and it was like, I picked you out at a bar to like trick you for my boss or whatever, and you turned out to be awesome and I love you, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Right. It's
Yeah,
kind of a
I'm
fun
fucking
story.
awesome. I know. I'm always screaming at the TV in those
scenario. It's like, it's okay. He didn't think it was gonna happen, and then it did. Now he likes you. What the fuck?
That's like the kind of the opposite of what I always say with like Criminal Minds. With Hodge. Hodge's wife is always so mad at him. He's like,
he's trying to fucking stop the serial killer.
He's stopping a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
He's busy. Can't come home and have dinner.
It's like there's like a tweet going around that is like the villain in a Lifetime movie is always some guy who's like, what? Babe, no, I can't just drop everything and leave work for this weekend. I'm closing a $10 million deal that will set us up for life. And the good guy is just the dude who was at her hometown when she got there.
It's so true. Dude, I was watching there's a Christmas movie with Maria Menounos, one of those like Lifetime movies on Netflix. Terrible. But it's same sort of thing. She's trying to get her book published, so she tricks a guy, whatever. Maria Menounos is so hot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And I think
Boston gal.
I think this movie was made last year, so like, I was like, oh my god, you are, that chick belongs in like the Mount Rushmore all-time Hall of Fame. She is Maria's queen. She like has like acknowledged Barstool, right? Because she's a New England girl.
She had some stuff with Dave. I don't think it was positive.
No.
I could be wrong.
Well,
I could be wrong.
Whatever. You're still super hot.
There was that early days where Dave was like, "Fuck." It was a bad Boston contingency of like Boston celebrities.
Oh, Michael Chiklis, Dane Cook, Maria Menounos. They were all like, "Let's go Brady. Let's go Celtics. Let's."
It was like after the Affleck Damon era,
right?
And then I guess before Dave.
See, if I in that situation would have been like, "Fuck Dane Cook, fuck Michael Chiklis."
Yeah,
I would have stopped there. You're okay. You can keep doing whatever you want. All right, guys, it's been an amazing 11, 12 years. We love you all. Thanks so much for being a part of the ride.
Paz, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Maybe like
you could still do. You could still do like Out of Order with the other guys, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like that show would greatly suffer without you.
Plan Brie needs a producer or something.
What are you gonna do?
Plan Brie, maybe.
That's not a bad idea.
That'd probably be pretty good for you, Paps. I'm gonna tell you and Jackie something. If Plan Brie comes a calling,
listen, our contracts aside, if we get signed and we don't get signed, if Plan Brie comes a calling, you go.
What's the name of the Mean Girls new production?
Yeah, Just Media.
Just Media.
We'll all go over there.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys in the new year. Maybe not. Who knows? Okay, today's interview is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, the presenting sponsor for today's episode. One of the biggest we've ever done. Jeremy Allen White and Zack Efron talking about all things Iron Claw. We talked about wrestling. We talked about that awkward moment. We talked about the Bear, Gene Wilder, life with the paparazzi, getting a Hollywood star. I mean, we really touched them all. I feel like we are pros at this point. You give me 30 minutes of a press junket interview, I'm gonna get my work done.
Yeah,
We're
that was
get it
we
in. We hit them all. So the fellas know that you got to get Straight Talk Wireless. So you should too. It's the most affordable phone plan in the game today. You get unlimited text, talk, and data. You also get all sorts of perks, including a Walmart Plus membership, which gets you free shipping, it gets you free delivery, it gets you better pricing on any Walmart store or Walmart.com across the country. It also gets you Paramount Plus, where you can go watch Yellowstone, you can go watch any of the shows and movies that they stream, and you're going to get a discount on your gas when you hit up the gas station, all for just being a member of Straight Talk Wireless, the most affordable and effective phone plan in the country today. Straight Talk Wireless is available at Walmart and Walmart.com. So hit up your local store or hop online today to get that Straight Talk Wireless plan.
Jeremy, you didn't grow up watching much wrestling, did you, Zach? Were you any of you guys coming in with like as a wrestling fan background? Because there's such a tragic side to it, but the wrestling world is so like fun and theatrical and ridiculous, and it depends on if you're coming in as a fan or not. Did you watch growing up?
A little bit. It wasn't really something my parents were stoked to have my little brother and I watch, because
that era was like not safe for parents.
Yeah, I was. I guess like Hulk Hogan was around, and there was a little bit. I was aware of it, but not nearly as much as I am now. We've got a whole new appreciation for the wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I think Harris, who plays David in the film, came in with he knew Chavo. He was aware of that family and dynasty. Chavo's the guy who taught us everything that we kind of learned for all that ring stuff. And but yeah, I learned about professional wrestling through learning about the Von Erichs. Like they were kind of my introduction to the world. I mean, I was aware of the big guys, but the most wrestling I've watched ever is the Von Erichs wrestling.
Yeah. We've watched a lot of tape, and then also since then have just it's kind of expanded. We've seen a lot of the great matches. Chavo Guerrero was our coach for this, and man, he is a savage. Going back and watching his matches, he is just insane.
He's amazing. Yeah.
So we have a lot of respect for the sport now, and I think it's just getting better and better, man.
I'd imagine with a lot of wrestling fans who are going to go see this, like you guys get into the WWE universe now, you're going to explode. I think fans will love you after this, no?
Man, I hope so.
We'll see. We worked real hard on the wrestling, man. It was, we cared about it a lot. The Von Erichs were they really kind of pioneers. They kind of revolutionized wrestling, and a lot of pro wrestlers tell us that. Like John Cena and I did a film together, and he found out that I was playing Kevin, and he was like, "Bro, these guys are my heroes." I worshiped them growing up, and
he came to the LA premiere. Did you see him after? I didn't see him after.
Yeah, I ran into him after.
Oh, nice. Do you like it?
He did.
He did?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was stoked. Yeah. It was pretty
good. That Kevin Von Erich said he liked it, right? And that was kind of your whole thing, Zach?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty special to play somebody, still alive. And, it's in the back of your mind, or really the front of your mind the whole time that you're working, that they're going to see this eventually. And I mean, it doesn't always work out that they're pleased with the end result. Sometimes it can go the other way, but Kevin was over the moon. I think that meant so much to me. And that's everything, man. That's like a dream come true.
All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Click that button.
Or I'll cut off my finger.